Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is April the 12th, 2026. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Sunday. Hopefully it was a fun day for you. As for me, as for mine, it was good. Dare I say great. It was a great day, great weekend. But yeah, let's actually wind the clock back a little bit to Saturday afternoon. Start there. So I linked back up with Zoe, and we proceed to first start off. Also, this is just a big, long running food corner pretty much, so hold on to your hats. But we proceed to go and get coffee at the start of our day. And we went to this place called Luckman Coffee. She had put me onto this place previously. I had just got a straight up like Americano situation, just to feel out, what's it hidden for? What kind of coffee we're messing with here. It's good, but I was like, all right, I want to try something, a little bit more signature, a little bit different, maybe either more my speed or more, Zoe's see what she was thinking, what she usually gets. And, she tells me that she gets this thing called the Cincinnati, I believe it's Cincinnati chocolate mocha or Cincinnati mocha. It might be redundant to say mocha, but you could get a white mocha, so I don't think it's redundant actually. But I was like, okay. And not to mention, I normally like to get hot coffee, like just in general. That's kind of my default. But she's more of an iced latte girly. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. And I'm thinking, maybe, I've been kind of having iced coffees at work, for the free. And they've been kind of hitting. They've been kind of stimming a little bit. So I'm like, let's try this signature coffee. And let me give it a twirl, give it a whirl. And I believe what the thing was about this, it's just a chocolate mocha, situation. But I think they just add like a cayenne kind of pepper in there. But boy, howdy, that's my speed. Y'all know I like a little balance, a little sweet, a little spicy, So when I started sipping on this thing, I'm like, ooh, wow, this is pretty good. This is pretty yummy. So that is where we start. And we proceed to, we figured out, okay, we are going to get some coffee for starters. Then we're going to have a little bit of a picnic date at this park called Alt Park. And we needed to get some food for said picnic date. And we wind up landing on McAllister's. I love me some McAllister's. It's been a while. So we go there. And my order was a bacon, lettuce, tomato, plus an avocado, with a pickle on the side. And then I also got a potato salad. And then to my memory, she got the McAllister Turkey Club, which was like giving like kind of like a double decker situation. The way they stacked it is very cute. Also with the potato salad, and then I got a sweet tea. She got a peach sweet tea. Also a pickle. This whole weekend we've been like questing for like places that might have a fried pickle. Granted, it wasn't like heavy on our search. We just kind of were looking for it and we gave up. But that being said, we've just been trying to get as much pickles, in us as we can. So we're just getting every pickle on the side, whatever. And we get that meal, scoop that up. And then also we went to, I'm trying not to forget every place that we went to. We actually got it beforehand, but I had mentioned to Zoe that I've been really craving a cinnamon roll. I've been craving a cinnamon roll since like December. And I just haven't been able to get one, and I haven't just wanted any old one. And I've also never been to Zervati. So we went to Zervati. We checked that out. No pretzels, which I believe they're known for. But they did have a cinnamon roll, and we get a couple of those. So we're all locked and loaded for this picnic. And we get there, and we realize, oh shit, it's like prom weekend or something. And all the kids are out with their parents and stuff, taking pictures, walking around their dresses and fancy little suits and all that. It's very nice, more crowded. But we find a little picnic table, table sit at, have our little spread. And I gotta say, obviously McAllister's never misses. I don't care if you're a McAllister's hater. I think that's crazy to me. I think that is like the Panera that you actually want. It's what your heart wants. If you're wanting Panera, I don't know, call me crazy, but yeah, the sandwich hit. That was my first time having that, but potato salad, chef's kiss, and then I switch over to the cinnamon roll. And I gotta say, it blew me away is a bit strong to say. It just gave me all of the wish fulfillment. It was worth the wait. It was so good. Like the way that the cinnamon roll looked, it was kind of giving like, I don't know, fancy gas station, and maybe that's a bit heavy-handed to say, but I thought it was going to be a little bit too light, not heavy enough, not the cinnamon was going to be rich enough. I was ready to be skeptical, and boy howdy, so good, so yummy, thick icing, just hit, and one was perfect. You know what I mean? So just dynamite little picnic date that we're having. Then we proceed to have a little walk around the park, and we are looking around. And while we were sitting, we saw someone unloading like a whole ass harp. And for some reason that we really like locked in on that. We like talked about it for a bit, and we're like, wouldn't it be fun if we were just like able to walk around and like find the harp player and they were actually playing? And then at one point, like, as we're walking around, I'm like, yeah, that shit would hit like a video game. And the next thing you know, I hear bring, bring, and I'm like, yo, I think it's happening. And then we literally round the corner, and it's like some like just Ocarina of Time, Legend of Zelda shit. There's just someone in like the middle of this area just strumming along on their big old harp. Not to mention they had that harp plus another harp. Like they weren't playing around. I imagine it was for the prom, or maybe just a lucky coincidence, whatever. But needless to say, we got to sit on the bench, kind of hang out, soak up some sun, look at some flowers, and listen to some harp. It was a vibe. It was nice and cozy. It was sweet. We then proceed to, head out, go home. We're doing some chilling. More or less, what did we do in terms of, watching TV? And this is kind of just for the whole Saturday and into Sunday. We watched a lot of RuPaul's Drag Race. I am learning. I'm getting the download. We're hitting like all-star seasons and stuff like that. So it's fun. Nice little crash course there. Fun to, honestly, this is like reawakening my reality junkie. So it's nice to just kind of like see the shows, see the highs and the lows. It's been nice. Then also, kind of putting in some Channel 5. I don't usually watch a lot of Channel 5. And normally I do a lot of clips. But we watched like the Afro Man episode that was new. And then the Shia LaBeouf episode that aired. And then also another thing I kind of have been liking a little bit on the low is Nat Geo has this Trafficked series. And it's either some kind of drug, some kind of human trafficking, some kind of scam situation in a foreign country, wherever. And I believe Maria Van Zant. Sounds like a goddamn, like, I don't know. It's like some Greta Van Fleet shit. But anyway, that's not there. Good show. Solid. We watched that too a little bit. But anyway, we're chilling. We're watching some TV. And we get another hankering for some food. It's later in the night now. It was a sweet little picnic date lunch situation. We love that. But we get a little hankering. And she proceeds to put me on to Swenson's. I've never fucking heard of this restaurant. And also this is reminding me too that like I've never been in this area, which is like at first I was kind of confused about where we were. I'm not really a location guy. I'm either at Northside or I'm home. Learning about like, oh, this is Hyde Park. Like this is always an area that was like locked away to me because I was never traveling more than like 30 minutes out of my radius unless I knew a person, reason, thing for being, and then I'm there and I'm coming right back home. So I've just never really been to this area before, but I've always known there's been like a lot of cool food spots. So, I'm learning about what Swenson's is, and I'm like, I'm so down. And we proceed to head out and go. Now, I'm going to give you a quick rundown in my, my interpretation of what a Swenson is. To me, a Swenson is giving, what if we had a Five Guys? What if we had a Sonic? What if they merged? Like, what if they kissed and made a baby? And this would be the shit they birthed. And boy, howdy, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful baby. We get this order. We lay it out. Let me tell you. We get, or at least we'll start with my order. We'll focus there. I get a double quarter pounder with cheese. She got something very similar in that regard. Then I think she got tater tots. I got onion rings. I got a sloppy Joe because they got that. Also, it kind of has, I guess, cookout vibes. I've never been to cookout. Let's see. Sloppy Joe. I said I got the onion rings. Then I got a chili dog, but I specifically got this chili dog with the intent. I'm like, Zoe, I want us to eat this Lady in the Tramp style. And she thought I was joking. But we bust that motherfucker out, and I'm like, yeah, we're doing this. We're going tip to tip over this chili dog, you and I. And we proceed to just fucking double throat this thing, and it was beautiful. It was romance. It was true love. It was great. I loved it. I will say we didn't get the cheese on it because when we looked at it, it looked like they were just slapping on a piece of like just cheese, like American cheese on it. And I'm like, no, we were both okay with that. But like chili, onions, mustard, that situation. One of the best chili dogs I've ever fucking had. If I'm going to level with you, it was very fucking good. Like, and not just because like the dog itself was good, like the bun I think had like this crispiness to it. Like, it was like on par with the burger. I rarely say that. Like, I'm a burger boy. But so the fact that this got my attention was clocking it. Thank you, Swenson's. The burger, fire. The only thing I wish I could have gotten with the burger was some bacon on it. But like, we had our bacon fix earlier. We're good. We're Gucci. The Sloppy Joe was crazy because like it had somehow gotten compressed, by the time we got it home. And it was just giving like, I don't even know how I would describe it. Like almost like meat pancake, like this meat gushed. And like, I have a couple of like solid bites of the thing. And then I'm just like almost using it as like a quasi dip. And then I'm biting into it. Like, oh man, it was great. It was a nice little mess for me. So yeah. Oh, and then we also had for dessert a fried cheesecake thing. I mean, I don't know. It was it was almost it was giving like almost egg roll or like a apple pie from like McDonald's, but we're talking cheesecake is in that bitch all through the me. And very good, very good, very good. We did not, Lady in the Tramp that. We used to split that in half, but it was good. It was yummo. So yeah, then we segue into Sunday, and we get up and proceed to do another coffee run. Back to Luckman, get the same thing, only I get the hot. I gotta say, ice is better. Ice is definitely better in the situation. So I think I'm gonna trust her gut on this and go and maybe stick with ice from now on. Maybe forever. Obviously, for certain coffees I'm still gonna go hot, but like maybe it's summer starting. Like maybe I come off of my ways and get back into some iced coffee. And I'll tell you my gripe with it. I don't know if I mentioned this on the pod, and it's gonna sound trivial and dumb or whatever, but I hate that the ice melts. I hate that the ice is even there. It's taking up space in the cup. I want coffee top to bottom, and like when you get it hot, you get coffee top to bottom. So I don't know. Am I crazy for that? Is that weird? Am I weird? But whatever. Neither here nor there. We start with some coffee. Then we go to Big Apple Bagel. Never heard of this place before. We go in there, and I leave this place with like heart emojis. Let me say that for some foreshadowing. We look at the menu. They got like all kinds of bagels, bagel sandwiches. And I immediately pop what my heart desired, but I wasn't even like just spiritually ready for it yet. Was a lox and schmear. If y'all remember my Einstein Bagel Bros arc back when was a year or two ago when I finally had a lox with the fucking smear, the capers all through that motherfucker. Ooh, that shit was amazing. I was very happy with that. Good. I still miss you, Einstein. I still think about you. But I immediately know I want that. I want that for sure. Also, once again, we get pickles. They have pickles on the side, so they're not playing. Also, winds up there's like they give us like a whole bag of pickles. So hell yeah to that. Thank you, thank you, Big Apple Bagel for that. Now, mind you, you can customize. I say mind you, obviously, you can customize the bagel you're getting for your sandwich, and you can customize the cream cheese. So I'm ready to get weird with it. And I see with my good eyes, pretzel bagel. That was the other thing on my list. I want a pretzel really bad. And you're telling me I get a pretzel and a bagel at the same damn time? Ugh. Clock it. Give it to me. Lock me in for that. And I get that. And now this is where people are going to, give me the little head tilt, give me a little eyebrow action. I got that with a hazelnut cream cheese smear. And I don't regret it. I have no ragouts about it, okay? I would do it again. I had eviler machinations, which I don't know if I will ever fulfill, but maybe. Because let me tell you, they have my dream spread that I gotta go back for. Chocolate chip bagel with chocolate cream cheese. I used to go ape shit for that at the old Metro Bagel in Mason, Ohio. R.I.P. We remember the Alamo. We remember the Metro. So good. Maybe it's not going to be as good, but I'm just happy to see game peeping game. You know what I mean? That's a good situation. You want that. People want that. They also had like a jalapeno cream cheese. They had a jalapeno bagel. Which Zoe got, she got like a jalapeno, jalapeno, what was it? Turkey club sandwich. And then, jalapeno, cream cheese on it. So that was good. I had a bite. Needless to say, the lox with the schmear, it was so good. It gave me some sweet, gave me a little salty, capers all through the motherfucker, some onions, tomato, and the salmon. Yeah, I was very pleased with that order. Very yummy. And, like I said, I had the hot, Cincinnati chocolate mocha to wash it all down. So yeah, really good food run, really just a fun time hanging out, just vibing, chilling with my girlfriend, my beautiful girlfriend. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. And then after that, cause wait, there's more life. I proceeded to head to the gym, did a little bit of a gym session, and then I didn't go home quite yet. Then I went to the grocery store, proceeded to like rub two credit cards together and, kind of get enough of a grocery list together. I got my energy drinks, I got my snack nuts. When we're switching, maybe I think to some ground chicken for a little bit. Maybe I'm gonna try that out. I'm sure I'm not gonna enjoy it, but like it'll work? Question mark. I'll keep you posted. But yeah, and then I came home. So yeah, I mean, I had a great weekend. It's been a fun weekend. I've been trying to keep abreast of the news, which we are going to get into now. So we have some update. I say just updates because I did mention the Hungary election thing. So we're talking about that as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and do our startup and let's get into the news. Ooh, man, that was a long little food corner, eh? Long little weekend update, eh? Hopefully you had a great weekend. I will say I miss the homies. That I know, some of them were traveling, doing their thing. Hopefully, just in general, everybody had a good weekend. Everyone had a good time. Hell yeah. All right. Ooh, I will say just a quick side note. With the Iran war situation, apparently talks aren't going well. Granted, I think we still have one more week till the ceasefire is up. But yeah, the price of the oil is going back up. So you know what that means. We're talking like a naval blockade from Trump, I think. Also, it's seeming, at least from my speculation, that what is it, Moshtaba Khamenei, the Ayatollah. There were rumors. Oh, there's been a few rumors about the Ayatollah that I haven't talked about because I don't really fucking care, and it feels like weird, like American like propaganda, psyopy bullshit, whatever. Like rumor mill turning to try to be like, oh, and he might be gay. I don't care, dog. Who gives a shit about all that? Shut the fuck up. But more importantly, he was potentially very disfigured, maimed even from the initial blast that started this war. What was it, several weeks ago? So yeah, we weren't, that was not confirmed, and it still isn't confirmed, but I feel like it's closer to now. So, because once again, he just hasn't showed himself. You know, we've only heard from written statements. That's it. You know what I mean? So there's just not enough concrete shit there. There's not enough there, I think. But that being said, I'm not saying he's not leading. And plus, it doesn't matter. The IRGC is more or less running this motherfucker. The military is running the whole fucking shit. You have the theocracy as well to kind of buttress it in a political, spiritual sense. But like the IRGC is essentially kind of like just moving. And despite Israel, you know, trying to blow up as many motherfuckers as they can, all these top commanders as they can, they just get fucking replaced. It doesn't fucking matter. It just kind of moves on its own. It's a Hydra situation, you could say. So yeah, it doesn't seem like we're making much progress. So it goes. There you go. There's my little update there. But getting to other stuff, elections, politics, allegations from Politico. Swalwell suspends governor campaign amid sexual misconduct allegations. Eric Swalwell suspended his bid for California governor amid sexual assault and misconduct allegations that threw his campaign into a tailspin, upending the race to lead the nation's most populous state. I am suspending my campaign for governor, Swalwell wrote on X on Sunday. To my family, staff, friends, and supporters, I am deeply sorry for mistakes and judgment I've made in my past. I love saying that, and then right into this, he wrote, I will fight the serious false allegations that have been made. But that's my fight, not a campaign's. I'll agree with him on the last part of his statement. Like, it's your problem. It's your shit that you have to deal. Like I said, you have to face your music, dog. There's no reason to fucking put that shit out while you're trying to run a campaign. You're not going to win now. Like, there's just no shot, brother. As far as, like, you're saying, hey, sorry for my mistakes, but ... these are also some false allegations. Or maybe we're saying it's a mixed bag. I don't know. Whatever. I imagine if anything kind of pops up from there, we'll come back to it. I imagine on some, gubernatorial election shit, we'll come back to California. But that's not here. That's not there for real. Let's go to Hungary. Let's go there. We got to talk about Viktor Orbán. Here we go. Let me segue from the Associated Press. Hungarian Prime Minister Orbán ejected after 16 years. In European electoral earthquake. Now, look, I would love to cue the Happy Trails music and, really do my little jig, do my little song and my little dance. I don't need to. There's a smile on my face. I cannot lie. But that's because I'm a Viktor Orbán hater. You know what I mean? I'm booing that man. I'm happy to see this Kroger brand, Wilson Fisk, Kroger brand, fucking Donald Trump motherfucker gone. Or at least demoted. He's cooked. He's done. That being said, we're going to get into this a bit. The person who's replacing him is not different. He's just a guy who realized, I can't advance in this party. I can't advance over Viktor Orbán. So I'll just cut and then make a party that's pretty much just like it, except we'll be more aligned with Europe, and then we'll be good to go. I'll be good to go. I can, ascend to the mantle. Good for you, I guess, but you're doing the same kind of shit. Just once again, just more aligned with you'll just help. What is it? Ukraine out, and okay, cool, I guess. But you could say, hey, it might be a little bit of a blow to Putin and Russia if that's what you're into. If that's something that you're interested in hearing. Maybe that's a thing. I still think they're gonna work with Donald Trump and the Trump administration with America. Maybe the relationship might change a little bit, might not be as vigorous, but I'm sure. So anyway, let's continue. We can go ahead and read through. But that you're getting the Isaiah's way. Hungarian voters on Sunday ousted long-serving Prime Minister Viktor Orbán after 16 years in power, rejecting the authoritarian policies and global far-right movement that he embodied in favor of a pro-European challenger in a bombshell election result with global repercussions. It was a stunning blow for Orbán, a close ally of both U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin, who quickly conceded defeat after what he called a painful election result. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance had made a visit to Hungary just days earlier, meant to help push Orbán over the finish line. Crazy that they were more worried about this shit than the war with Iran, or with the war with Iran. Like we also sent J.D. Vance as like our little like top guy for that negotiations that more or less did not go well. But more important than that was this, which yet again makes it all the more sweeter that Orbán fucking lost. But yeah, let's go ahead and continue. Let's talk about the guy who won. Election victor Peter Magyar, a former Orbán loyalist who campaigned against corruption and on everyday issues like healthcare and public transport, has pledged to rebuild Hungary's relationships with the European Union and NATO, ties that frayed under Orbán. European leaders quickly congratulated Magyar. So, do I want to say this is good? I hope so. You hope that this guy is actually meaning what he is saying, that he actually is more moderate, and that maybe we're taking steps back from the more far right, further right, conservative that the Fidesz party is, or whatever the fuck. But I'll believe the shit when I see it, and still it's going to be conservative. We are still talking about a conservative ass situation that I don't think is good for any region, any place. So I'm not going to be like, oh yeah, awesome. I'm only saying, oh yeah, it's awesome that fucking Orbán lost. It just makes me happy. Let's see here. His victory was expected to transform political dynamics within the EU, where Orbán had upended the bloc by frequently vetoing key decisions, prompting concerns he sought to break it up from the inside. He was essentially just playing double agent. Just playing both sides so you make sure that Hungary wins. In that regard, I do get being advantageous for your own nation state, that you're just willing to be like, yeah, man, I'm robbing Peter, I'm paying Paul, to quote some Metal Gear, I'm being Revolver Ocelot in this motherfucker. It's the one thing I give fucking Erdogan credit, Recep Tayyip Erdogan in, Turkey, because he's at least doing that, and he just gets to be power supreme for forever, because you just can't beat him, because he's just fucking yeah, I control the law, I'm doing whatever the fuck I want, I'm gonna keep this shit, and I get to damn near be in NATO. Isn't that neat? Isn't that fucking cool? No, boo, obviously. But you know what I mean? So I get Orbán's position. I get why he did what he did, moved the way he moved. I don't think Magyar is probably going to move that much different. Also, it's not clear whether Magyar's TISA party will have the 2/3 majority in parliament, which would give it the numbers needed for major changes in legislation. With 93% of the vote counted, it had more than 53% support to the 37% for Orbán's governing Fidesz party, and looked set to win 94 of Hungary's 106 voting districts. So yeah, more details there. Once again, I've made my point, in stance, very clear, very known, and, huzzah, and we'll move along. From Ohio TV7, or no, it's not Ohio TV7, it's WHIO. What the okay, anyway, WHIO TV7. Anyway, one dead, another in custody after stabbing at Ohio State University soccer field. A person is dead and another is in custody after a stabbing on an Ohio State soccer field on Friday. Two groups were involved in a fight around 7:45 p.m. at the Ohio State turf field, and Ohio State University, OSU, spokesperson told our news partner WBNS-TV. Let's see here. Officers detained a juvenile suspect and medics transported a stabbing victim to Wexner Medical Center in Columbus, according to previous News Center 7 report. The OSU Police Division told WBNS that the stabbing victim died from their injuries on Saturday. University officials stated that no one affiliated with OSU was involved in the incident. There is also no ongoing threat to the university, the spokesperson said. The incident remains under investigation. Moving on to another true crime story coming out of New Jersey from People. At least one dead, multiple others injured. Chick-fil-A shooting left restaurant looking like a war zone. At least one person is dead and multiple others are injured after gunfire erupted inside a Chick-fil-A in New Jersey. I'm going to take a water break quick, sorry. Excuse me, what? At least one person is dead and multiple others are injured after gunfire erupted at a Chick-fil-A. I already read that. My bad. Union County Police responded to reports of a shooting at the restaurant on Route 22 at around 9 p.m. local time on Saturday, April 11th. ABC 7 and CBS New York reported. One person died at the scene and at least 6 people total were shot, according to Newsweek. The number of suspects and their identities have not been made public, nor have those of the victims. This is an active and ongoing investigation. Lauren Fairness told a spokesperson for the Union County Prosecutor's Office, the UCPO, said per NewJersey.com or NJ.com. She added more information will be released as it becomes available. Let's see here. One man told ABC 7 that he drove to the restaurant after receiving a panic call from his son, which I believe was working because there was a lockdown situation at the Chick-fil-A. The father claimed that multiple masked suspects shot several employees, and he described the restaurant as a war zone. A Lyft driver who was finishing a trip in the area recalled to ABC 7 that he heard several gunshots. I finished my trip over there in the return zone. I heard the shots. When I finished the trip, I go to Chick-fil-A to buy 2 hamburgers, and I see the police. I heard the shots very close, he told the outlet. Now, maybe, this is a bit of a cultural miscommunication, whatever, and I shouldn't dwell on it. A person has died. People have been shot and injured. You're not getting hamburgers at our Chick-fil-A. You can't do that. That's not a thing. Could you imagine? I would. I totally would. Could you? I would eat a hamburger at the Chick-fil-A. I just would. I'd have to try it. Anyway, the UCPO is currently leading the investigation into the shooting. When reached for comment, a Chick-fil-A spokesperson directed people to local authorities, stating it's an ongoing investigation. The UCPO and the Union Police Department, UPD, did not immediately respond to people's requests for comment on Sunday, April 12th. Okay, so there you go. Now we have one more potential true crime story that has been brewing. That has, I just haven't really been able to get to it. I wasn't sure if I wanted to. Kind of akin in the sense of the Hawaii story we covered earlier in the week, where I was just like, yeah, this is a type of story that I like to cover, but like when you get it on the ground floor, you kind of have to wait a bit for it to all develop. And sometimes it's just nice to be there at the end and just do the whole recap. I kind of like that. Call me maybe a little lazy, but I like it. What can I say? But that being said, this was a big enough story. I was like, we have the time. We can talk about it. We can yap about this. So we gotta go. We gotta go to the Bahamas. Actually, gotta go to jail in the Bahamas. PU. But yeah, let's take our last break and then we will close this out. Also, mea culpa. I can feel myself like I'm tired. It's been a great weekend, but I didn't sleep enough. I never do, but. Ooh. Things that are probably only going to make me more sleepy. Anyway, from The Guardian. U.S. man in Bahamian jail. Bahamian? We're going to say Bahamian. Whatever. Bahamian jail after wife disappears into Atlantic waters during boat trip. Lynette Hooker bounced around the deck of the docked Soulmate, smiled into the camera, and proclaimed, "We're finally leaving Kama," referring to a Texas port town. "It's only been 4 months," she said, as her husband Brian tugged on some rigging as they got ready to set sail. The Gulf crossing video in 2023 marked the start of a sailing adventure, chronicled on Facebook, for a couple who are now at the center of criminal investigations. Of criminal investigations after Lynette went missing in the Bahamas. A few days after Lynette disappeared, police from the Atlantic Ocean island nation arrested Brian. He denies any wrongdoing in his wife's disappearance and has been cooperating with law enforcement, his attorney Terrell Butler said. Butler added that Brian Hooker would remain in custody until at least Monday evening, while investigators continued examining the case. He told police that his wife of more than 20 years fell overboard on Saturday night from a small motorboat and was carrying the couple from Hopetown to Elbow Cay, small islands on the eastern end of the Bahamas. He said Lynette, 55, had the keys to the boat's engine, which shut off. Strong currents subsequently carried her away, and he lost sight of her, police said in a statement on Saturday. Now, there's a bit, like, I listened to this initially, and this is what kind of, like, started making me say, oh, I need to cover this. This is a very, like, interesting story. But they were, I got this from Sorry Here, ABC. They were traveling, I guess. The trip was not supposed to take that long. I think like maybe a maximum of 20 minutes. And then a storm hit, and essentially she gets knocked off. She has the keys to the boat. Without the keys, he can't operate it. And then she just goes away. He can't get her, and then she's gone. That's like a very, quick summation of what he is saying here. Also, I think it's worth noting here that obviously this story is constantly developing. We're getting more details. More outlets are covering it from different angles, giving more details, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. Just like I learned from the Start Here thing that, they were operating a dinghy. I believe that they have maybe another boat that they live on or something to that effect. Maybe I'm wrong there. Or they were just going to where they were trying to go, like leaving, which wasn't supposed to be a long trip. But essentially, that's another thing I was trying to mention too, where he then has to, because she left with the key, or she fell with the keys, according to him, he had to like paddle back, which took him so long, and to get back to shore or whatever. And it's all very suspicious. At least that's kind of how I'm viewing it, how I'm perceiving it. But let me read a little bit more from The Guardian. Butler added that Brian Hooker would remain in custody until at least Monday evening, while investigators continued examining the case. He told police that his wife of more than 20 years fell overboard on Saturday night from a small motor. Did I read that? My bad. I'm tripping. I did. My bad. Mea culpa. Strong currents subsequently carried her away, and he lost sight of her, police said in a statement on Saturday. He paddled to shore and alerted others early Sunday, said authorities, who arrested and questioned him on Wednesday. The U.S. Coast Guard has opened an investigation separate from the one by the Bahamas authorities. Carly Aylesworth, Lynette's daughter, said it's unlikely her mother would just fall from the boat. She adds also in other things that I've heard that she was experienced in this. Like, they did this shit together. Also, it's worth noting that it was the soulmate, and like potentially this might have been done. I don't know. I don't want to point fingers. But at the same time, Carly adds, and also other people add that, like, yeah, they had some problems. There's also a legal note that they had like some domestic problems. So there had been some bad back and forth. Apparently the drinking had gone up. So this can all lead to very bad situations. So you never know. Once again, this is speculation. But, she's gone with the keys somehow. He had to paddle back okay. If anyone in this kind of situation is saying, hey, something's not lining up in the family, well, I'm definitely listening to that. Also, I don't have this at the ready because it would kind of didn't drag this episode into like longer territory than I want it to be. I believe CBS News has an article about this where they have a slew of text messages from friends who talk to him after they realize, like, oh, dude, you're on the news. Like, is that you and Lynette? And like, he's explaining the situation. And like, I'm not saying this shit's not lining up, but it's just not hitting right. I need to do more digging on this. Get my details and things straight. But I also want to see where things fall out. Hopefully, they find Lynette, but I don't know. I don't want to be pessimistic here. But in general, I hope they find her. Period. Whether we're just talking, rescue, recovery, what have you. But I want to see how this goes. Definitely with him being arrested, I feel like that was at least enough of a cue. But I kind of already had this at the ready. I kind of knew, and I was like, oh, okay, you got arrested. All right, well, we'll run with that story. We'll run off that line. Let's see here. Brian and Lynette Hooker accused each other of assault in 2015, according to a Kentwood, Michigan police report obtained by NBC News. Brian Hooker, who was intoxicated and bleeding from the nose, told police his wife had struck him multiple times in the face, the report said. He told officers Lynette was also drunk. She was arrested for assault and spent a night in jail. A warrant was denied because it wasn't clear who started the assault. Let's see here. Was there any more details that I really wanted to pull? No, but once again, we will most likely come back to the story at some point. But yeah, like I said, I like to wait for these stories to kind of get a little more meat on the bone. I hate to say it that way, but and then it's like I have a little bit more to run with. But right now we're just kind of in the nebulous of, well, what if? What's going on here? What are my 2 cents? What are your 2 cents? Which you can always sound off in a comment. You can always hit me up and let me know what you're thinking about this story, what's going on. You can also keep me posted. Sometimes it helps. And I know it's like, well, that's crazy. It's your job. No, it's we are newsies. You can be a newsie. I'm about to tell you how to become one. Patreon.com. So this is a news. Become a newsie today. Do the roll call, all that shit. That's neither here nor there. But, I like to make this a whole community project in a way. So yeah, you hear something, you say something. Okay, buddy. But yeah, you don't want to, subscribe to the Patreon. That's a-okay. Fruit hit me up, isaiahnews1@gmail.com. Feel free to follow me or the podcast on any of the socials. Subscribe to the YouTube. Follow on TikTok. Follow on Spotify. Follow on Apple Podcasts. Yeah, all those things. Leave a like. Leave a cool comment. Sharing is caring. 5 stars on Spotify. 5 stars on Apple Podcasts are always appreciated. All the stars. Like I said, you can hit me up with your thoughts, your comments, concerns? Question mark. Criticism's okay, I guess. Am I opening up my heart chakra for that right now? No. Just say something cool. Just say something nice. Just be a Jim. Just be a pal, okay? Tell me about your day. I don't know. Or you can just like be kind of semi-parasocial and just hit me up about that shit and talk about that shit. Especially my friend. Like, once again, I love that my friends listen to this. I love that. I love that my loved ones. Shout out to Mama Newsy. You know what I mean? I like that you guys are all a part of my mix in this way. This is very nice. It's very comforting. It's very sweet. But anyway, I'm blabbing at the end. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.